Before we ended up settling in self-contained houses like this, we had the privilege of living and growing in these houses, these big houses in the center of Kumasi, the second largest city in Ghana, popularly known as Kumasi Fie, compound houses. And in this video, I show you some interesting facts and how it felt to live in a compound house in the center of Kumasi, Ghana. It's going to be an interesting one. Stay tuned. My name is Mickey. Keep watching. This is Amokom Stadium, Kumasi, in Ghana, a place myself and my wife consider our roots. If you were born or raised at this side of the hood, chances are you grew up in one of these massive urban structures, locally known as Kumasi Fie, or a compound house. Come with me and my lovely wife as we walk through memory lane on how it felt to live and grow in one of these houses. So when I say compound house, it is a big house with loads of rooms. All the rooms has got one family. So we have about over 10 families, isn't it, living in one house. So I'm going to show you. A typical compound house will have an entrance like this. And I want you to see this meter. I was so petrified with this because to me it's like a lot of power coming to. So all the power that is going into the house is measured from here, and that's how the bills were calculated. And normally the bills will be calculated by, was it the number of appliances you had? Yeah, the numbers of appliances you had. So every appliance was a point, and that was how we did it. And this is one of the rooms, and it will be one family. This is why we call it a compound house, because most of it will have a courtyard in the middle, like that. This place used to have like doors. It used to have doors, but we've commercialized it, so we've blocked it all off, and they've turned it into shops and stuff like that. And then they will have a communal kitchen, and that will be like a typical kitchen. I'll show you upstairs. So at the top will be a communal kitchen, and then those at the bottom will also have a kitchen over here. And when I was growing up, we had only one tap. And this is where everyone came to fetch water. So you need to be very strong if you live upstairs, because this is where, when you are going to shower, you come here and then you get your tap. The first fact of these compound houses is, in my opinion, it was built by cocoa farmers. Yeah, mostly it was built by cocoa farmers. My granddad was a massive cocoa farmer, and he hated formal education. It was all about farming, and he managed through the cocoa farm, managed to build around this area. He managed to build that one, the yellow one over there, and then this one. And he's also built another one at Afropanta, which is about
10 minutes walk.
Yeah, 10 minutes walk from here. Yeah. And yeah, cocoa farming was a big thing.
Yeah, it was the kind of the main source of income for families back then.
Yeah.
So every household had like the cocoa farmer, and it was kind of families, they did them with their wives. Some did businesses. So in Ghana there is this slow season, that is the June, July, that sales are a bit slow. That's where they move to the farms. And when it's getting to December, then that is the cocoa season, and then they move back.
Yeah, and normally having big family would help you because you get cheap labor. That's why in Ghana, especially Ashantis, they used to have big families. They have they marry 2 women,
practice
and polygamy, and then get a lot of kids, and they use them for cocoa farm just to build these houses for us.
Yeah.
The next fact is, normally the house will be named after the person who built it, the village they are from, or the famous kid who lived in that house. So some of the names, this name was
Mr. Opuni's
Mr. Opuni so Mr. Opuni's house.
My house is Donyina
Fofie because they were from Donyina.
And then we have a Chianse Villa.
So yeah.
Jachi house.
Yeah. And then if you have a kid who is very famous in the area, they will say Yamensa Mufi or go to Yamensa's house. Mampo Mufi or go to Mampo house. Because my wife used to be she used to be very famous, and that's where she lived. There. We will tell you a last story about it. The next fact is the communal living that we had over here.
Was cool.
Yeah, the first one was the shared facilities.
Yeah, shared toilet, shared bathroom, shared kitchen.
The toilet one is the problem because if you wake up in the morning and you really need to go, right? And I'll tell you, my dad used to take graphic, so we call it newspaper. We didn't have YouTube, we didn't have your phone, social media, so he would take a storybook or a newspaper.
And it was the norm, you know.
And he would stay there for an hour. So my mom used to go like, your dad is going, come on, go quick, and before he goes in. So that was one of the things.
And the fact that your mother would keep your food in the cupboard, and then when you come, a neighbor will show you. Your mother said your food is in the cupboard, so go check. It's in the green bowl, the white plate. Your food is there.
Or sometimes they will give your money, your chop money.
Oh,
your afternoon money, lunch money. Yeah, they will give it to Auntie Kriya.
We used to call it Eriesika. Your mother will give your money to the neighbor, and then when you come back from school, it's given to you. Yeah. Your mother said you should use it to go and buy. Sometimes you are given sometimes 1,000.
Yeah.
Oh my, it's 1,000. Do you move 500?
Yeah, 500.
Never 500.
And bring the rest.
And you had no choice. You had
and then what about the shared kitchen? The fact that we had about
and then
8 food
going on at the time.
And then when you are pounding downstairs, you tell Auntie Efia next door to look after your soup for you.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Looking back, it was. It may sound strange today, but looking back, that was the norm. It was okay.
No one poisoned anyone. We never had anything like that, and no one changed any food.
And even sometimes, if your fridge developed a fault or something, you actually want to keep your food in your neighbor's fridge.
And your neighbor's fridge, yeah.
And when your neighbor has the same problem, they bring their stuff to your fridge, so they fix their fridge before they come from their stuff. But we live together, and then one thing was, if your mother is cooking a meal you don't like, and the neighbor is cooking the one you like, you are at peace.
Because what we used to do was we used to share food. So Auntie Efia next door will cook, say, dokono. And then we will cook fufu,
and we will cook
and we will share. Yeah.
And then the next one will cook rice, and then you share. Normally, it's between about 2 families. 2 families. Yes.
The ones that you get on with.
Yes.
What about the communal raising of kids? I have a story to that. Anyway, so there was a day I didn't even know. There was a day, right? I saw someone do this. And then I was downstairs and I did that. Please don't come to Ghana asking people, can you give me a pen? Can you give me a pen? It means something different. Well, it's got your mom and it's got her private part in it. That is how far I will go. Anyway, I did that, right? And Sisi, Mr. Labi's wife, who used to live here, saw me. I thought I didn't do anything wrong. And she kicked the crap out of me. Anyway, so when my mom came...
It's unacceptable.
It was unacceptable, but the thing is, she didn't wait until my mom came. She didn't wait. She chastised me and told my mom what I did.
When she came back.
When she came back.
That was the norm, right?
That was the norm.
It was, I mean, in today's, let me say, currently, it will be something that is unacceptable. Like you going to, chastise another person's child. But during her days, it was okay. Yeah. Even when we were misbehaving outside, the elderly one will do whatever any punishment they deem fit, and then come back to report you to your parents. So you were careful, even when your parents were not around, because you knew somebody was watching. So, but today it's quite different.
The next fact too is all the rooms were named after either the father or the popular kid who lived there. So here,
used to be
Mr. Labi. Mr. Labi. So this is Mr.
Oh, Imamu Demo.
Imamu Demo. Yeah. So, and this one used to be our room, Mickey Modine. And coming here actually makes me sad because this is the first time I've been here since my mom and dad died. They passed away.
It's nostalgic,
yeah,
you know.
They passed. So my mom and dad lived in this room, this house. It was a chamber and a hall, and we had a balcony. We were the only people who had a balcony, so it was good. And they stayed here until they passed on. So this used to be Mickey Modine, so Mr. Labi Dine, Mr. Opumi Dine, and I said, oh, Imam Modine. Sister Jane Modine.
Sister Jane.
So
Sister Jane or Carol
or from home.
From home, yeah.
So that is another fact for you. Another amazing fact of a compound house that I love so much is the fact that it gave a lot of people opportunities in the urban areas, isn't it? So what will happen is people say someone will come and rent a room here and then bring their cousins from the village to come here to learn a trade. And this
or a vocation.
And
because they were normally, it was like it's a single room, but it's got families.
Yeah.
So those coming in were like teenagers, young adults, so they couldn't stay, like kind of sleep in the room with them. So they opted for the outside space.
Used to be somebody's bedroom. So every evening you have people sleeping here,
with their mattresses.
And then in the mornings they will go and learn their trade. They will go to, and some of them now have built houses, isn't it?
Yeah, with time. Even one went on to become an assemblyman.
Yeah. So that's one good thing. So sometimes we sit down and
it was normal because you can't come to the city, like come to the city and then you leave all your siblings or your cousins in the village. It was uncalled for. You have to bring at least one person or two people. And when it was like a cycle. When they came and they also learned their trade and then they start like their own lives too. They also go to bring people from the village, so the cycle continues.
Yeah.
My grandmother like brought all her siblings to the city, and now I am proud of my grandmother.
Because,
thank God for her
because
life.
You normally say something like you were saying that my granddad could have built something small for himself and his nuclear family, but look at the number of lives that have been touched, including myself. And transformed, because we never rented a house because he built this compound house. Imagine if it was in there.
And it was like kind of, should I say, he gave people in the rural area this urban feel of life, and then like when they came and then they saw, or I should say that to quote those times, the luxuries, the televisions, the stuff like some would just come for holidays and they decide not to go back. And then they make it.
Yeah, I know some of the people who were sleeping on the veranda who owns their own mansions right now.
And their companies.
Yeah, and companies.
Their businesses.
I'm going to take you upstairs. And downstairs, about how many rooms? We're talking about 10 rooms. Yeah, on average, 10 rooms. All of them will have only 3 toilets. And when I was growing up, it was only 2 of them that was working. So I'll tell you about that. I have a story about that one. Then we have a staircase going upstairs. This is where, when you were coming back from school, you will have to greet everyone. So I will stand here and greet everyone. Me mama chill, me mama how, and then they will also respond. Let me show you. Again, we've got another room here. And if those people, like, there are some of the families who will also be okay to have their own meter. So you have some of this, the person who was living in this room will have this meter, and that meter will be for him. Or sometimes share with other tenants as well. So that's another room. That's another room. There's another room over there, and there's another room here. So yeah, that's another room, and this is where
all the gossips happen.
All the gossips used to happen. This is like the vantage point. You stay here, and you can see every girl that goes to town, and we will talk about them. You can see everything that is happening over here. And when there is a match over here, because there is a National Sports Stadium over here, you can see. And normally they will do concerts or musical concerts. They will have big games, and this is where you stand, and then you also enjoy the crowd and the atmosphere. Now, most of these rooms are single rooms, but if you can afford, a lot of people can afford, and it turns into a chamber and hall, isn't it? So they will turn 2 rooms into a bedroom and then a living room for one family. Another fact too, when you think about it, we have different families over here. They are not related, but they live in one place.
Like family. But they are not family. So what happened was a lot of romantic matches were made in this house, including ours. So basically, this is the compound house where my wife lived, and I live here, right? And what I would do is, I will go and but
stand.
We're not speaking to you. No. You wouldn't even look my place when like.
I'll show you where I used to stand. So normally, I will be stood over here, and she will be stood over there. And she will be acting all shy, and I will just be spying on her, intimidating her. Fast forward, and we are here. Much made in a compound house.
So one thing you couldn't avoid in a compound house was the fact that some neighbors were, should I use the word troublesome? Like
clash of characters, isn't it?
Yeah.
So a lot of family
different people from different backgrounds, and what I deem normal might piss someone off. What the person sees, it's okay, might not be okay with me. But then
or someone will go and say something that will rub someone really bad. So we had a lot of fights over here. A lot happened at the water area where we used to fetch the tap area. When you go and fetch water,
that was where the action happened, you know.
So it's my turn to fetch, it's my turn, and then there will be a lot of fight. Or maybe kids will go and then they'll have an argument.
And sometimes what happened was when it's time for like the daily cleaning, in compound houses, you do the daily, what do you call it?
So another fact is the cleaning of this place. It's a big house. It's a massive house, right?
So it was done on daily basis.
So it's done on daily basis, but it was done in turn. It's like a rota, but room to room.
Family to family.
First family will go, and then the next family will go. And one day
it was like when it's one family's turn, they will like buy all the laundry detergents and stuff like that. Then they will do a nice cleaning job, and then another family can be bothered. You know that kind of thing.
So the others will feel a bit cheated. They'll go and confront, and then it will turn into a fight
or something like that.
But the thing is, we never dwell on it for so long. You will have one or two people who might dwell on it for a long time, but we never dwell on it.
And then you sort it out,
and then you sort it out, and you move on.
You are good to go.
As you can see from the downstairs when I showed it to you, we did not have enough rooms indoors to play. So everything we did was outside.
Outdoor space, and then we had a lot of fun. A
lot of fun, yeah. Play football.
And then we had the privilege of, we had the Heroes Park that was open to the, because it wasn't gated like it is now. Yeah. It was, so Saturday like this, it would be like football match between this lane and then the Star Lane. And then City Hospital Lane or Sister Efia Lane.
And then we played, what are some of the games that we played?
Ampe, skipping, Chaskele, Pilolo. The Pilolo is like literally hide and seek.
So basically, all these games
and then we did dancing competition as well.
And one thing is, all of these games were physical.
They were.
You had your cardio done during the day. So when you went to sleep, you slept like a baby.
Yeah,
and up to now,
good.
the job that I'm doing, I'm supposed to be fit. And it's turned out that I'm just naturally fit because of the games that we played over here on the streets.
And then we, what happened was, we didn't have that luxury growing up with what do you call it? Every individual, every child having the bicycle.
Yeah.
So we used to go to the school parks.
That was it. And then we pay 50 CDs.
50, no,
Maybe,
was it 50
something
CDs?
small.
Yeah. 50.
Well, it used to be 50 CDs, but not like now. Ghana cedi, the old 50 CDs, which is like 5
pesos now.
5 pesos, something
No.
like that. Yeah. And then you just go around.
You go around the school for like 2 times or 3 times.
And then they'll give you jara.
Yeah.
So they call something jara, so it's like an extra to say
So
thank you.
it was popularly known as, is it Kobo Kobo?
Yeah, Kobo
Kobo, yeah, Kobo Kobo.
That was that.
So that was our Saturday, and then the children's park was also in full swing then. So we gather ourselves and then we decide that this Saturday we are going to children's park. It's a shame it's now turned to
What about the fact that you didn't have room, and if you were having an exams at school, how did you study?
We went to, I think we were lucky. We had facilities like the Calvin Methodist Library, and then the security men at the Mankoetia used to open some of the classrooms for us. So it helped. Looking back, I think it was a good.
It was good.
Initiative.
It makes you tough, innit?
Yeah. One thing our compound house too, you are pushed to do better because end of term examination also in a way it becomes competition. So if you don't do well, your mother will really.
Yeah, and another thing is they will always compare you to the best behaving kid in the house. Well, the kid that they think was best behaved. I hated that.
Yeah,
and my cousin, I don't know if he's watching right now, Caleb was the person who they always, my mom would go like, oh, don't you see how Caleb does his things? You need to learn from him.
And then low-key, the parents were, you know, if you did well in school, low-key, your parents are happy.
They are proud.
Yeah, but if you don't do well, then, you know.
And they always compare.
It's a compound house. Every parent wants to see their child do their best. So in a way, it pushed you to learn. And then when the results, like the national results, like the BEC, the SSCs, are released,
now called the WASI.
The WASI. That's, you know, it's, how do I put it? It's a neighborhood something, right? And then we are curious, our ears are all over the place, you know. So it was kind of, it pushed you, and I think it has helped. It has helped a lot.
And what you feel me do?
Yes, why? I don't know.
Me ti ho nom na me hwe se me do no, e be bi nso ne do na e me why. The skit you just saw is the gossips that goes on.
Juicy one.
The juicy one. Well, you've got about 10 families, nearly 20 families living in one house. People will talk about each other. So yeah, there was one thing that happened in this house a lot, and it happens in
everywhere. The ones that are doing good, the ones that are not, the cheats, the ones who used to cheat on their wives.
Yeah, they were the ones that we used to talk about.
Yeah, and then when the wife comes, it becomes a debate. Who is gonna say it? Who is not? You know, and then. Oh, by the time you realize the wife has said it, but nobody said it.
Nobody said it. Let's go to the kitchen. So, as I was saying,
hello.
So these are some of the meters I was telling you about. So this is another room.
This used to be Mr. Lalu. No, that's Mr.
Yeah, that's Mr. Lalu. And this is another room. Another room. And another room. And sometimes the corridors will be turned into a room for the family, and that's another room. And then we come to the communal kitchen. So this is a communal kitchen. And when I was growing up, we will have about 8 coal pots. This is what we call coal pots, where we put charcoal. You put charcoal in it and then you fan it. And it wasn't fun, especially when you... So we had a hard charcoal and then we had a soft one. We hated the hard one because it was so difficult to fan. And then you fan that. So we'll have like scattered over here. We'll have a coal pot, and we'll have about 8 soups, 8 different food going on over here, and they will look after each other. And then over here, all the doors have shown you, they will share this bathroom. Sorry, it's not the best, but that's how we grew up. So they will share the bathroom. It is what it is. And then we brush our teeth. And all these things that you are seeing, right? All these sinks. It was when my uncle took over. My uncle was looking after this house because this house belongs to my granddad. That is when he did us this good and made one of these for us. So we stopped going downstairs. The next amazing thing about compound houses is Christmas time. Talk us through what are some of the things that the preparation.
From my observation, you know, we had when it's time that when we were kids, your sisters were coming and brothers were coming back from the boarding house.
Yeah, everyone comes. Yeah, so the house will get packed more.
You know, then you know that it's Christmas season, and then it starts with general cleaning. Like not that we don't clean the house, but there's Christmas one is like all hands on deck.
Yeah.
So
every cobweb will come out of every corner.
And every room, every child, every adult, provided you are not sick, you come out to, you know, help clean. And then from there, what next? That's when you know that the Christmas cooking. No, it's the Christmas shopping. Christmas shopping. That's where your mother takes you to town. Your mother takes you to town and get you your Christmas stuff, and then. So
the whole year you've been a good boy, a good girl, so that you can get this one shoe that you really wanted and the dress that you really wanted.
Yeah,
and then
of course
you get to eat the special food, isn't
accessories. And then the other thing is you go for afishapa.
Yes, so afishapa is like going to the next house to go and like, greet them, and then you get money.
Do you know what reminds me of Christmas in the Halloween?
Yeah. So in a way, we were going from houses to houses.
Oh, collecting treats and stuff. And then people gave money. People gave what they had, like Christmas biscuits, toffees, juice.
And then we come and share together.
Come home and then we share amongst ourselves. Of course, the other ones take the juicy parts.
Another one is watching a major sports event on other people's TV.
And sometimes they brought the TV out, you know, especially during our days. It was the ones that I remember vividly was Ghana football matches. International matches.
And Azuma Nelson's boxing.
Yeah. They normally, I don't know, I think it's a time difference, but they were normally telecasted in the evening.
In the evening or night. Yeah. So you wake up in the morning and there will be a TV over there and everyone is sat over here watching. It's not that the people don't have their own TV.
They do have,
it just feels so good. It's like in the West, you go to the pub to go and watch it. We bring it outside in the middle of the house, and then everyone comes and watch it. But sometimes too.
And even with that, when people were like, you know, people used to come from outside
to come and watch it
because people's business were around.
And the number of times that we would watch TV through there as well.
I know
the thing is, you had TV, but they had a
color
cassette.
TV.
Either a color TV or they had a video cassette deck. So they would be watching, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We used to call him Commando, and then Sylvester Stallone. We used to call him Rambo. So you come and stay here and just pick through somebody's. So that's something that we love.
This is a typical Saturday in a compound house. Laundry dry everywhere.
That's it. You can see it over here.
And then Saturday afternoon like this, after the laundry is being dried, we do our chore. You wash your socks and your shoes, because of course when you get of age, your parents don't do it for you anymore. You do them yourself.
So this is why we call it a compound house. It's got this compound. We are standing where my wife grew up. So she grew up in this house, and I grew up in that one. Well, I'd always wanted to show this thing about compound house because it's a unique experience, isn't it? Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Living
It's
back
nostalgic, you know. Yeah, going down the memory lane, and I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for
It was
everything.
nostalgic for me as well. It was nice going back memory lane. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let us know if we left something out, and
probably you can share your experience as well. Well, if you grew up in Kumasi in the 80s and 90s, the probability that you lived in a compound house is high. Yeah.
So don't forget to subscribe to come on our journey of experience. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.
Bye.